Hello, dear parents. This is the last video of this series, and we are going to be talking today about the lessons learned and knowledge gained from pandemic times. So what have we learned as parents through these times of pandemic and, homeschooling and hybrid approach? Let's see. What have families learned from education in pandemic times? You have gotten much more involved in your child's education and learning process. And so let's see how this benefited, our role as parents. How much have your beliefs as parents about schooling changed? Because maybe somehow we have this idea of schooling from, those days when we were the learners, and now we bring this back. And things have changed so much. Approaches have changed. And, technology has emerged and became a very, very important resource in our children's lives. So how much has this changed, and how much have we learned from the teachers, from the school, and from our children? And how will this new information about schooling modify our mindset regarding your child's formal education, right? So let's see. We have learned that we need to get involved, that we need to understand what the child is supposed to do, learn, and achieve, and how we can help and guide that process together with the teachers. We are not going to be the teacher. We're going to be helping our child and the teacher reach a certain skill or level of development. So we are going to be a helper, let's say, a facilitator. We're going to be there just helping our child get involved. But on the other hand, we are going to understand, if we get involved, we are going to understand the approach the teacher is, following, and how the teacher wants our child to learn, through which paths. And maybe they're absolutely different from the path we went through when we were children. But put that aside and try to get tuned in with what the teacher is trying to pursue. So we will understand the school's and the teacher's approach. We will visualize our child's strengths and areas of improvement. But we have to acknowledge the good things our child is doing, and the areas in which maybe our child needs to, go over a little bit more so to improve enough, right? And we're going to visualize our child's awareness of her own skills. This is really remarkable. Many times our children have the idea, moreover, if they are teenagers, but they have this idea that they're not good at something, that they don't do things well enough. And maybe once you see them work, once you see them perform, once you see them progress, you can say, okay, I'm going to help you become aware of your skills. Become aware of all the things you do really, really well, and you're not aware of that. I will show you that because I'm learning from you. We have learned to make a more wise management of the time we have with our children, right? Children and teens need to keep a balance between study time and free time. We became very, very aware of this after so many hours of Zoom classes. And then we realized our child was exhausted, and because of the screens, because of the attention they need to pay to the class when they work online. And so we became aware of how important it is for our children to have free time. And when I say free time, I really mean it, right? I really mean no schedules of anything else to do in that time. Just turn it off. The child is free to do what he or she wants, right? And so let's see what they choose. Maybe they choose to relax on the sofa. Maybe they choose to have a walk. Maybe they choose to go outside, whatever. let them choose what to do. Don't say, okay, after school, you do this and that and the other thing. Free time, time to play, right? They need time to play, no matter the age. And parents need to value and respect the authentic free time, that's what I was talking about, where play and creativity might emerge if we give them time, if we allow that to emerge. Differentiating versus leveling. This is something we have already learned as well. What is it that we want for our children? We want children to be pushed into a level because of a certain standard somebody decided my child should be in, or maybe I want the teacher to differentiate the approach so the teacher can cater for the different needs of the learners in order to continue the progress and developing. No matter the standard, right, that they are supposed to reach by the end of the year, what I want for my child, and maybe it is what you want for your child, is for the teacher to be aware of the strengths and the needs of my child and provide the tools, the resources, the assignments that will help my child continue developing. So that is differentiation. Another thing is to set a standard and train, let's say, my child in order to reach the standard. But reaching the standard for a certain test or some, school aim might not imply that my child has developed the skills, has learned the language, good enough. So I believe that we need to understand the importance of a differentiated approach to reach the desired standards. Exposure to authentic language. We need to understand that we have to provide, right, the time, the resources for children to be exposed to authentic language. So maybe we can offer them, find some podcasts for them to listen to, or listen to stories, for native speakers, not those simplified versions for learners of English, but maybe a bit more of authentic storytelling for native speakers, so they are going to get the language more authentic language, right? More richer language. So the more you can help them be exposed to English, the better. And then don't worry if it is too difficult. For example, if they want to watch a film, Frozen 2, for example, and put it in English. And if they are in primary, you can put it in English with English subtitles. So they are in a way forced to listen to the language and listen and listen. And the more they listen, the better they're going to get. Effective communication. So it's really important that you listen to your child actively. It's not that you listen to your child waiting for him to stop in order to you provide an answer. You give your version of the things. No, it's listen to your child actively means that you listen and try to understand what the child is trying to communicate, not only with the words, but also with the body language. And be available for your child. Communication means that you are available, that when your child wants to talk to you, right, not 100% of the time, but mostly you are there to listen, and if necessary, provide, an answer or create a conversation, discussion of any topic, so be available for your child. Maybe for certain hours you have to work, right? Of course, we all have to, but it's important for your child to know that maybe after a certain time, after 5 p.m., you are going to be available for him or her to talk to you. You're going to have a very nice conversation during tea time or whatever. So be available for your child. And stay in touch with teachers and coordinators. Communication has to be fluent, between you and the teachers and you and the coordinators at school. You have to be fluent there. Why? Because it's a way of, having all the information about how your child is doing, what the school is implementing, what new things the school is bringing, and resources and ideas, you know. So it has to be something without stress. It's not that when the teacher calls, oh, panic. No, when the teacher calls, it's because she wants to share something with you and, you know, have a discussion, a conversation, interact, and develop a certain topic. So it's very important that you have these two ways of communication open, right? Listen to your child, listen, not only talk, listen to the child, and interact with the teachers and coordinators at school. Some of the things we have found during these pandemic times is that it's very important that we value these learner-centered approaches. And what are the learner-centered approaches? Approaches where the learner is the reason why we are there in the classroom. We are not in the classroom to teach a course. We are not in the classroom to teach a curriculum. We are not in the classroom to teach, to reach a standard. We are in the classroom to teach learners. So the learners should be our main reason to be there, and therefore the teachers need to get to know the learners, and one way of getting to know the learners is interacting with the parents. The relevance of the learners' well-being. If we have stressed learners, burned out learners, exhausted learners, those learners are not going to learn. So we need learners who are motivated, who are relaxed, who feel they can try new things and make mistakes, and they go back and think it over and try again. So that is, it's a learning lab, right? We are all there learning, and they have to feel that. So from the lessons learned, we can say that parent involvement, right? And we talked about it. The importance of time management, a wise time management, differentiation versus leveling. Remember, we talked about differentiating instruction, differentiating teaching in order to reach the standards. Yes, but it's not leveling. It's not pushing all the students to the same level, because that is very artificial, right? We talked about exposure to authentic language, the more the better. And we talked about effective communication, right, between you and your child, and between you and the school and you. So we all learn how strong kids are, how resourceful and adaptable, and how fragile our way of life can be. So take care of this situation and, take the advantages of the lessons learned to move forward. Sustainable and enduring learning can only happen when learners are highly motivated, feel supported, and confident. So if it becomes a question of filling in hours, then we are missing the point. You don't send your kid to school to fill in hours, right? For them, the child to be there doing whatever with his time. Your child is at school to be motivated, inspired to continue learning his or her own life. Okay, keep that in mind. Thank you.